What's up, spooky friends? Back at you here with another exciting episode of Sir Henry's Haunted Podcast. I'm your host, Zach. And new with me this episode, we have Cal. It's first time on your show, Cal?
Yep.
He might look very familiar to our former co-host, Calvin, but he literally cut the Vin off, and now he's just Cal.
Yeah, I cut my hair. It's big news. It was
actually the number one story on AOL.com.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah.
We don't know how this episode is going to go because he cut his hair. It could be like a whole Samson and Delilah thing. He just lost his power.
Could be stronger now, though.
I highly doubt that. But anyway, yeah, that's News of the Week update. Calvin, you cut hair.
Feel free.
He's just Cal now.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we've got some exciting guests in studio today. They were on our first season of Sir Henry's Haunted Podcast, and back again today for Sir Henry's Haunted Podcast Season 3. In studio, we have Amanda and Brad. Welcome back. Good to have you here.
Hey, good to have you. It's weird. I was like, I don't know where to look.
It's crazy, right?
Well, I think...
So we've got a couple books out now, a few really, I believe is the word, since the last time you guys are on the podcast. We have a trilogy. We have a trilogy of books, a triad of horror.
I'll be on twice already. I'm so tired.
We're gonna have thank God we're not doing a shout out counter for his yawning
swear jar.
$200 in there.
No, so I want to. You said Amanda and Brad, and that throws me off because I always say Brad and Amanda, so it's kind of like cheese and mash.
Well, she raised her hand, so I threw me off. But
alphabetical.
Yes,
Patrick and SpongeBob.
Alphabetical. No, so we have 3 books now. We have Sir Henry's Haunted Tales, Book 1.
Book numero uno.
Sir Henry's Love's Revenge, Book 2.
Yes.
And Book 3, which is Sir Henry's Season's End.
Yes, the fancy display copies.
Yeah.
The free sale on the front of it.
Before we jump into it, I'm going to get some shameless plugs out here. You can buy all 3 on Amazon.com. These are all available for purchase. Of course, when we're having our events, you can purchase these books in person, get your physical copy in hand at our swag shop at Sir Henry's Haunted Trail, where you can also, depending on the night, get a autographed copy by Sir Henry, and or if it's one of those special exclusive nights, you can get a copy that's autographed by Brad and Amanda.
Z-list.
So exciting stuff there. Let's jump right into it. What is your favorite book in the series?
That's really tough. I mean, I think just based on nostalgia alone, book 1 was just fantastic because that was completely uncharted waters. I hadn't really heard of a haunted attraction that had a book series. If there is, I apologize, but this is our first time hearing about it. If anything, there's room to go around because these are completely original stories based in Sir Henry's universe. And writing that first book series got me through a lot of adversities, and coming out on the other side and seeing the response from people and how much actual physical impact making this book series and selling it has been for Sir Henry's and related nonprofits that we help to amplify is just awesome. It's just awesome. I love it.
Awesome stuff. Brad, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I'd say number 1 as well. That's the one that, basically got it all started. It starts with the first one, and depending on that, it's live or die. And so in this case, I think it proved to be pretty successful. People seemed to enjoy it. We had a good time writing it, and we just went from there. So that one's always going to stand out for me.
Yeah, that's probably going to have to be my answer, too.
Yeah, because you haven't read more than one book. Yeah. And you're on this podcast, you sit in a throne of lies.
I've never lied and said I read all the books, though.
No, it's a reference.
I understand the reference.
Smells of beef
defending.
and cheese.
But he doesn't smell like beef and cheese. He cut his hair.
I don't
He's
know.
clean.
What was that you had for lunch?
Asparagus.
Okay, anyway, I'm gonna mix it up here. Of course, book 1 for me is nostalgia, like you guys have said. Mm-hmm. But there's a couple scenes in book 2 that stand out for me.
Ooh, do tell.
Namely the end, kind of towards the book with the White Witch. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Oriana,
And then book 3, the ending. It's kind of like a Breaking Bad ending. I don't know. It was really good. And to see it wrap up that way, I don't know. That was really cool. Emotional moment for myself as well. And I said this before on the first time we had them on the podcast, but the Brad and Amanda's ability to do what they did with the story and the integrity of the characters and bring that through 3 cohesive books. I can't thank you guys enough for doing these characters and stories justice. So thank you. Just want to put that out there. Which book, I mean, you kind of said this, but which book was the hardest to write and why?
Well, I mean, first of all, thank you again for letting us tell this story. And I mean, Calvin, you've had incredible insight in the process as well. I think everybody really who has had a hand in the principal characters, like Sam for Vex or Reese for Poppy, or anyone who's really had, a big foot across the line for these big characters. They've been really integral to telling the story, and they've had good input. That being said, I would say, book 1, of course, it's brand new territory. Like, that's going to be completely new grounds. But I think book 2, honestly, because it was figuring out changing the tone of the storytelling, because the kind of like first person versus second person for the first book, or was it the opposite?
I don't think
it's like the tone changed in the second book. So it was learning from that, learning from formatting mistakes, learning to basically do a long form for some of these characters versus, what was it? Dr. Strangoit said the first book was kind of like almost like an Avengers type deal where all these characters are meeting each other and it's bite-sized stories, but making all of these characters' stories weave with each other while doing it in long form, that was a bit of a challenge, but I did really enjoy writing that second book. That was cool, especially going it further into the books with like the townspeople and why they don't like the people at Sir Henry's because they got a little bug up their butt. But I don't know. What do you think?
I'm going to go with actually the first one. Because that was basically kind of the starting ground, obviously, once we got to kind of get our foot in the door and kind of get things established with how things operate for not only creating original stories, but adapting stories as well. So adhering to the legacy of these characters, but also establishing something new that hasn't been told yet. So kind of had to get our footing and kind of develop exactly where we wanted these stories to go. And then the subsequent books after that, we had a little bit more of a firm hold, so we were able to kind of proceed from those grounds a bit more. So I think number 1 was a little tricky just to get things started, but then once we got a hold of that, things went a little smoother, I think.
I think I like the weird process that I had with storyboarding, where literally the second book I had scrap paper at a car dealership and I literally mapped out each chapter and just taking pictures on my phone to make sure something happens to this paper.
I remember you sending me those pictures and being like,
I was like, I just want to make sure that we have insurance. But I mean, it works. It works and then I tape them up in my place to look at them and remind myself to be like, this is a priority. This needs to be done. And then every time a chapter was done, you get to pull it off the wall.
It's a good feeling.
Serotonin.
It was your Charlie Day blackboard or whiteboard. Yeah.
Yep. This is how the story all ties together.
You want to ask some questions?
I said, like, this is interesting for me to listen to because obviously I'm no artist or no author rather. So just hearing other people's creative processes, because I'm so stuck to like hours, is interesting to me. So and obviously I don't have much input. I can barely read anyway.
He's here for moral support.
He reads on a third grade reading.
Yeah, I'm just that's interesting guy.
Is this a picture book?
Yeah. So the pictures in the first one are actually my favorite.
Oh yeah, no, for real. That's because
I'm in a couple of them. Anyways, what is the longest book? Because I'm sitting here thinking about it. Is it the second one? The novelle?
I think the novelle.
That's a
I think it
season
actually
one
is.
throwback.
Let's see. Let's check out.
Let's do a
First of all-
page count.
And I forgot that Patrick, who did the cover for this,
Patrick Brown.
I forgot that he did this little doodle inside of here, and I was like,
That's
"Oh
awesome.
my god!" I forgot. Patrick,
check
I
out
love
Patrick
you.
Brown.
But yeah, let's see. So 200, a little over 213 pages. Wow, I can do math. That's why I write with words. Yeah, this baby clocks in
Number
at a bigger book.
2.
We're number 2.
Wait, so Nate is number 2?
Yeah.
The novelle.
She is.
She is.
Instead of the novella,
I had to. Sorry. Sorry.
the anthology.
So we're talking pre-show about what book was out the last time you guys were on the show and stuff, and I lost total track of time of how long ago this was.
Here we are in early summer of May 2024, and you guys would have been on the show end of October 2022. So a year and a half, roughly.
Yeah, because I was like, it couldn't have been a year ago or whatever. No,
And
it was
I mean, you
whole years
think what
ago.
we've done just with the book series, and then all the improvements and the new scenes, and new attractions at the haunt. It's kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, we didn't even have a hayride.
Yeah. All the stuff that can happen in a year and a half, kind of crazy.
I need a nap.
Which book did you have the most fun writing?
You answer first. Fine, ladies first. I mean, I enjoyed writing all of them. I know that's kind of a cop out, but I think really just because I knew that this was really ramping up to the end of this particular story arc, I think that was a lot of fun. And even though like the chapter, I've had people come up to me when I was signing the books and be like, why would you write that chapter? What was it? Chapter 8. Let me just make sure. I need to get my facts straight here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. I told you I can count. It's great. It's great. Yep. So yeah, chapter 8. People are like, why would you write that? And I'm like, because it's a major loss. It's a major character loss.
So yeah, it is a character loss. No spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I
Okay.
mean, when people eventually reach it, but like the hardcore fans, like Sammy May with all these wonderful
Oh, yeah, she
trinkets right
Talks about it
here.
all the time.
Sammy.
Yeah. She was like, why? That hurt me. And
Even
I'm like,
I-
it hurt me to write it.
Even I had to, get an earful from her about it too. So
no.
I don't know. I still don't even know what happens, but I know something happens.
Eventually, you'll get there. Well, I do want to mention too that the first 2 books are on Kindle. I am eventually going to get the 3rd one on Kindle, so that way, if you have an electronic reader, if you have an electronic reader, you'll be able to have that. And we are starting to work with options for the audiobooks.
Yes.
Because we were talking behind the scenes,
I'll
and
narrate
apparently that one option
We'll get
was
Chris to
only
read it.
available for the second book. So we need to I need to look into why it's not available for the first. But it's behind.
Interesting.
Talk amongst yourselves. Here's the subject. Neither Duran nor
we're,
Duran.
we're working on all
Yeah.
variations. Of
We
the
want
book.
it to be accessible to everybody because not everybody has the the dexterity for a paper. Like we want it to be accessible, and then
Large print up too, right?
well, yeah, it is all large print too. That is one thing that people have come up to me and said, "Thank you for a large print book. It makes it so much easier to read." And I got you accessibility, but yeah, not everybody can even read a book, so an audiobook would be very helpful. So we're working on it.
For sure. Brad. Hardest book to write.
No, most fun book.
Oh no! Wait, yeah, no.
Which book you have the
I
most
thought
fun
that was
writing?
the question.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
Thank you, Calvin.
Most fun to write.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 3rd one, I think, because that was kind of the culmination of everything, kind of building off of the building blocks that we established in the first 2 books, and just kind of going from there, kind of going to see where things would end, and the response to how people who have read the first 2 would kind of respond to the final chapter, essentially. So in knowing that, while creating it and knowing those potential expectations and reactions that might come, was kind of would make it probably the most entertaining for us to write, I think.
Question for me personally, I cannot remember, so that's why I'm asking now. The finale, the climactic finale in book 3 takes place on a cliff, basically. That's all I'll say. Did y'all come up with that, or is that something I mentioned to you?
No, I just could picture it as like an epic thing
Because
on.
I didn't think I had said that to you, which is always how I pictured this battle ending.
Well,
I think there
So
was
it's kind of crazy we're on the same wavelength.
it's
with that.
weird. Yeah.
I think there was kind of some like subconscious influence with kind of the maritime theme that was existing with some of the attractions too. So that just kind of gave us sort of a subconscious
that's
influence.
definitely what was on my mind because Trail 3 was always had kind of this nautical
Yes.
theme. If that's something you wish, SpongeBob SquarePants. But we have a lighthouse, and there's always like Captain Jonah had to there because people were saying you got to get Captain Jonah in the book, and it's like
He's in the book.
cameo.
If you would read,
That's kind of sick.
at
has a
the
cameo,
end of this- I've had people be like, that's sick the way that you put him in there, and
Yeah,
I'm
we're
like
Captain Joe.
I got you, fam. This is great.
It's
I was so
pretty.
excited to write that scene. I was like, ugh. Like I could hear like epic battle music in my head while I'm writing this, and I'm like furiously typing. I'm like, this is so good.
Definitely
This
Hans
is, I'm
Zimmer
high on my
score.
own supply right now. So
Well, yeah, when
get
I'm-
in the groove.
When I'm wiring up 750 LEDs, I'll potentially listen to it instead of
Yeah,
all my
so you get the
podcasts.
audio
that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, because listen, you were saying you're not an artist. That's art. Like what y'all are doing is art. There's just
different
different
types
forms
of
of
art.
art.
I
It's all
say
valid.
that. I say that, but I'm just a different type of artist, I guess.
Exactly.
That's right.
Musically.
Well, everybody
Yeah,
has
exactly.
different creative approaches to their different creative outlets.
Yeah.
All creative endeavors are valid.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Brad, I know you had specific focus on Pyram and Kane, but who would you say is your favorite character in this
No
book
pressure.
series?
In front of us two.
It's like, yeah, can I pick Pyram? Yeah.
You can't pick Sir Henry. That'd be the only thing I say.
Okay. Well, in that case, yeah, definitely.
that's everybody's
Yeah,
spirit.
definitely Pyram. Yeah, because Pyram's always been like my favorite. Even when we first started attending Sir Henry's just as fans, and we only knew him as that tall pumpkin guy, basically, because Pyram is the essence of Halloween. Essentially, not even just the jack-o'-lantern aesthetic, but he has kind of that old world folklore feel to him, kind of like the 1800s New England Sleepy
Yes.
Hollow type vibe. And for me, that just screams classic Halloween. And in establishing a storyline for a Halloween attraction, that's kind of the vibe I wanted to go with. So he's always the one that I've gravitated towards the most, absolutely.
And the original backstory that you wrote for book one has been one of my favorites to
Yay.
date.
We talk about it a lot,
Oh,
actually.
so-
At least once a week, I'm like, okay, when are we adapting that into a short film?
yeah.
Yeah, get
So
the-
is that
get
your
the-
Roman
real.
Empire? Is like Pyram's backstory is your Roman?
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
just
mean,
found
like-
out about that the other day too.
Given who I am, I guess Pyram would have to be my Roman Empire, yeah.
Yeah, we get the Pumpkin Man crew out here. We do Pumpkin Man versus Pyram, or let me do
Yeah,
some
that's some little Freddy versus Jason thing
Exactly.
right there. We'll throw
Curtis
down.
versus Pyram. Yeah.
Amanda.
I mean, everyone in this room probably knows, but I mean, just for listeners out there who aren't here nearly as much as everybody, I think Poppy, obviously.
The Hogan household is soloing right now.
Yeah, right.
That's all I gotta say.
Well, I mean, I
pulling
just.
I
through.
took Sir Henry off the table. Just remember.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Well, that would be the thing is like obviously the first one would be Sir
Power
Henry,
couple.
but Poppy is just I don't know. There
Iconic?
wasn't iconic, but there wasn't really that like much of a backstory behind Poppy. It was just she was hanging out outside of the funeral home when we first came across her character for the first Love's Revenge, and she just has like this amazing aesthetic and just this way with people and how she carries herself. And I just thought to myself, like, people have been through like great traumas, like that's kind of how they carry themselves. There's like it's almost like a supervillain or an anti-hero, how she just has like these big comical scissors and covers herself with a mask and prances around and said, I'm gonna cut your head off. Is that okay? And I was like, there's something behind there that I need to flesh out. And from book one through book three is just like this crazy progression of like, this kid's been through some stuff. She's a little messed up. Because like the whole last chapter of this, it's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway,
Yeah.
I started Midwestern. Oh my God, that Poppy is a great character, and she.
No, that's awesome. And I think creating that backstory in such a way that probably a lot of people can relate to is something cool about this Sir Henry universe as well. So great job, good answers. And
Incredible answers.
All these characters are trauma bonding. That's the whole.
I mean, that's
Pretty much.
the
They've all been
vibe.
through
That's
it.
the nature of this business.
Oh my goodness. Do you have a favorite character?
Probably. I think we've said this before. Probably the captain.
Hmm.
To answer without bias, probably the captain.
Why?
He's cool.
He is cool.
Well, that trail was cool. It was probably one of our I can't even say one of your best ideas. And then the captain, the execution of the captain, the vibe of the captain, and how everyone talked about him in the trail, even guests. It just all worked, and it was.
It was a vibe.
Yeah,
It was a
and I
vibe.
don't think we've had such a dignified. What's the word? Such a big deal of a character since then, potentially. Of where he just had an essence, an aura about him.
presence.
Yes, a presence. Is
A
the word.
mystique.
Yes.
Well, you wait till this year. I think
Oh yeah. This year something might change, but
We're gonna have a few.
Honorable mention goes to Omar.
Omar. Oh, you forgot about Omar.
yeah, that's a good one.
I like how shout out to Omar. We need to
Oh,
put
yeah,
that
we
in
did.
there.
Is he
Shout
in
out
the-
to
is he in the
Omar.
books? I should know this.
Shout out to Omar, who previously of Give Kids the World, now Over the Edge, both fantastic nonprofits. And he was like, "Was that named after me?" And I was like, "Sure, okay."
Is he in the books?
He
no.
came in too late. Yeah.
Too late, but
Yeah, the hayride came to fruition after we finished writing.
So Caleb,
that
who
Omar.
played Blood Masquerade, Vampire and Blood
The
Masquerade,
original Omar.
came up with the name Omar, and we just carried it on ever since. That's the vampire here at the trail.
Also, one of the sickest costumes too. Omar had
Yeah.
a sick costume. That
he
jacket.
had swag.
Yeah.
He had swag.
Another character would just.
He throws
aura.
That's what we do
Body
here.
around.
We're
I think I got to
swag
play him
drop.
once. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
What's that?
I think with one of the WWE filmings, I got to play him. I believe because I got to wear the silver and black vest.
Oh, so yeah. So that's Omar. Redo,
even though I
yes.
didn't show up
But
on film. But
that is also a sick jacket too. Omar's got
You
jackets.
should bring that
But
back.
days.
Yeah.
So we've got this trilogy out. I know I've heard chatter. Are we going to see more books in the future? What's the future hold?
Why, yes. So, when we were on Haunt Scene with Johnny Bronto, one of the friends of the Sir Henry's universe, he had made a joke saying, "Oh, I know what the fourth book is." And at that point, we had only just been discussing a compendium, where it's like all the books tossed together in a short story, but nothing was cement yet. So I was like, "Oh, he's like talking to Zach," and he's just like, "We're the last ones to know about it." Okay, but then he shows this ridiculous image on screen of Gordon Ramsay with Sir Henry's head photoshopped, and it's like, "Oh, it's Sir Henry's cookbook," and that joke became real because we're coming out with a cookbook.
or like you want to do it? Okay, sure.
I mean, I love cooking. It's very therapeutic. I have a whole box that actually looks like book from Hocus Pocus, full of family recipes, full of recipes that I found interesting that I've clipped out. And when we were down with COVID a few years ago, I came out with like the best chicken soup recipe because
True.
my grandmother did not leave me her chicken soup recipe. I'm still really mad about that. Grandma, what would you been hiding? What are you hiding, Grandma? Anyway.
I can verify that.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a universal thing. People love to try to cook, or they love to cook, or they would like to. It's a great way to save money. And a big part of the book, just as our thing has been with support local haunts and support those nonprofits, is the goal is to try and get your produce from local grocery stores or farmers markets or farm stands, or grow it on your own. Or if you can't, that's fine too. But just cool to have these themed recipes. With your permission, I can share some of the recipes on this
Go for it.
podcast as
Exclusive.
Exclusive.
it's a juicy sclusy, as they say on
Or take
For
a
Your
cue from
Entertainment.
Chef Gusteau. Anyone can cook.
Anyone could cook. Let's see. We're gonna pull
Cook a
up.
mean butter noodle. Take those twisty noodles.
I mean,
boil
you
them,
could.
butter, garlic. That's all you need. Parmesan.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Hey, listen.
It's a classic.
With my stomach problems, sometimes all I need is a good thing of plain pasta with butter and garlic in it. So I totally understand you, my friend.
Yeah.
Now let's.
If I'm hungry and don't know what to cook, I can always go back to butter noodles.
Now is that like pasta, like spaghetti, or like pasta, like
I like the
penne, whatever.
twisty ones.
Slow corkscrew pasta.
Yeah.
So
Like
you
the
just-
cavatappi?
The boat.
And I get the kind that's the vegetable kind. It's like rainbow colors, and there's like a tomato one and a green one. And
Ooh.
I like the kind shaped like,
like
dinosaurs.
the rotini. Like
Yeah.
Rotini.
I
And then
love it.
you have something for the cookbook too that you're contributing.
Oh, you mean the story?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So aside from the actual recipes and stuff, we are going to do like an additional story to just kind of fill in the gaps for the straight fiction portion of it. And, that kind of remains to be seen still very much in the pre-planning phases, but we do plan to have would be like some kind of like interstitial between the recipes or kind of as a prelude or epilogue sort of thing.
Yeah, probably maybe more of an epilogue so that the short story is right there, but maybe it'll be intertwined because this is also going to serve as a history book.
And still pre-production though.
We've
so, yeah.
hit, as Zach's shirt says, 10 years. So this book will also have, map out the 10 years of the haunt. So it's like a 3-in-1 thing. You get some cool recipes, you get 10-year history of a local haunt, and you get a kick-ass story. Kick-ass.
I'm going to try.
Yeah. So let's
No
see.
pressure.
Here we go. Some of the recipes, and we are waiting on Zach. You might have a recipe you
Yes,
want.
I might sneak in
Heck
a
yeah.
couple recipes
Which
there.
one?
I love to cook too.
well, I
and
know
I've
that,
got
but
some-
how haven't I heard? I want to hear.
Yeah,
I heard,
exclusive.
I heard from his lovely wife Sita that he likes to cook. I was like, "Well, give me a recipe
This
then."
man can cook. I'll give it to him.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we got here? So, some of the recipes, we will have a staple item, the bride's dough. So, learning how to make bread dough. And all this you can make from scratch. Then we have for breakfast, Barlock's French toast, which you will remember from one of the books. Very lovely, heartwarming scene. Next, we have for lunch, the harvester's bone broth. And that will incorporate my chicken soup recipe. I'm really excited about it. Scary side dishes. That'll be Poppy's potatoes with fresh cut herbs, as well as Vex's spicy jicama slaw. And I think that there might also be one other side dish in there. I don't know yet. The process is
What is
ongoing.
a jicama slaw?
You've never had jicama slaw?
How do you not know what jicama slaw is?
Yeah, okay. Do you know what a jicama slaw
course I
is? Please
know.
elaborate. What is a
I'm not
jicama
writing
slaw?
the cookbook, they are.
Oh, good cover. What's a jicama slaw?
It's like, of course I know, but why
It's-
don't you tell me just so I'll hear?
Okay, so jicama it looks on, that's going to be part of the story. It looks on the outside like it's a clove of garlic, but it has like this weird kind of texture to it where it's hard to describe. Okay, you've been to Shaker and Peel before with us,
have.
right? Did you remember the Flower
Tacos.
Power taco?
Yeah, Reese got that a couple
so
years ago.
it had like that weird slaw in it that had like the white
Not sponsored.
pieces in it. That's jicama. So I think it's a fruit because when you go to Publix, they do have it in the fruit section, but it's delicious. That's all I know.
So it's coleslaw, but jicama instead of.
It has red pepper and mango and jicama in it and a bunch of citrus and spices, but it's good.
I'll give it a try. That's
Those
what we
were-
should do when this book comes out. We should do like a cooking show of all of us making
taste
these
test.
recipes.
If you got a kitchen big enough, my kitchen is not big
Can
enough. For
Calvin cook this?
That would be. I would love
The
that.
great
that would
feast.
actually be. You know what? If this gets like 50 likes on this on YouTube or whatever,
I will do that 100%.
There's the wager.
But that's supposed to be the thing of the book is that it walks you through the recipes so that anybody can make this as long as you have access to the ingredients. Then I'd be
Can
interested to
Calvin
see it.
cook jicama slaw?
Calvin can cook jicama slaw, and that's the
Write
thing is
that down.
it's just
Can
chopping
Calvin
everything
cook?
and mixing it together too. That's the beautiful part of it. There's
great.
not really any cooking with that.
Let's go.
Let's
Calvin's
go.
kitchen.
Calvin, welcome to Calvin's kitchen. Today we're going to make Pyram's vegetable pasta.
There we go.
That's
See?
Go.
And I just said I like pasta. Let's do that
there you
one.
go.
We'll do
so
that. one.
So that one's for dinner, and I mean
Easy
it's
for
appropriate.
Pyram. All he has to do is open up his head and pluck out the ingredients.
Yeah.
From scalp to table. That sounded gross.
It works.
It's a visual.
I know. And then for
Flop it on the plate.
dessert, we have Sir Henry's Strawberry Surprise, which the strawberries are
What's the
a tribute to
surprise?
Plant City, which the haunt is based in. And there's going to be a lot of different call outs in a lot of these recipes as well. I make sure that all these recipes can be done because the original one that we had discussed was making some sugar cookies with trying to make little caramel candies out of Sir Henry's hard cider from Keel Farms. That didn't work.
Yeah.
So that's not that's perfect that you didn't remember it. So we'll just make it an anecdote.
She didn't
here.
say anything.
I would have loved that. That would have been a cute recipe. Didn't work. That's fine. I don't want to put anything in this book that is not
The
that people
important
can't
thing
cook.
is you tried.
Yeah, I'll be the guinea pig.
Yeah, there
Calvin
you
can
go.
cook it.
That's right.
The world can cook it.
Yeah. I mean, what Chris the girl and Tampa J were saying that we should cook all this up and have
Yeah,
like a
feast.
little
That's a
buffet.
cool idea.
Yeah.
And happy birthday to Tampa J. Today's his
Oh, yeah.
birthday.
Oh yeah, it is Tampa J's birthday.
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah.
Hey.
Today? Yeah, you gotta.
Let me go post
No,
on
you know
Facebook.
what? You know what'd be funny? Let me call him. See if he'll answer.
Maybe.
That'd be funny.
Oh, a little Tampa J cameo.
Mine's
You
coming
are
up in 2
lying.
weeks. It's my
You
birthday.
are.
On a
There you go.
pre-recorded episode.
Yeah, happy almost birthday to
Yeah.
you, sir.
When's your birthday?
2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. Where is he? Where?
I guess that make us the oldest people in the room.
What'd y'all get him?
Us?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think
Maybe.
so, yeah.
No, we gotta find a kitchen to.
Yeah,
Well, Anthony's got some
she's
hookups.
Like a kitchen big enough?
she's trying to call up Tampa J
Anthony's
right now.
got some hookups.
Let's see if he answers.
Pick up.
He may or
Pick
may,
up.
He may or may not. He might be at dinner with his family now that I'm thinking about it, but we can leave him a voicemail.
Yeah, there you go. Let's do that.
This is the content you're here for.
The
Your call
suspense.
has been forwarded to voicemail.
Wait,
The
oh,
person you're trying to reach
British.
is not available.
Why is she
What's up with
British?
these British voicemails all of a
Why
sudden?
is she British?
When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Tampa J, happy birthday!
Hey,
Yeah.
Calvin and Zach here. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday from Sir Henry on today's Creature Feature.
You.
I love that.
Hey, happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday from your nerdy friends Amanda and Brad.
Oh, this is going on live too. Not live, but not live. But
Pre-recorded.
exactly.
Okay, bye.
Oh, well, that was abrupt.
There you have it. Tampa
Yay,
J
there you go.
birthday wishes on the
Yeah.
Now
podcast.
he's
That's a
he's like, what
first.
the hell was that?
That's a first for us.
But the book will also include a bonus recipe because Johnny from Hansine really wanted his grilled cheese recipe in there, so I'm putting it
Really,
in
like
there.
such an imposition.
I'll have
But
to try
it's
it.
such an
That's
imposition.
Put it
No, it is a good grilled cheese recipe. It has like some clever ingredients in it, but we're gonna call it the Boggy Meadow grilled cheese. But Johnny, you'll always know that it was your recipe. So there you go.
Nice.
Made with the boggiest of cheese.
The boggiest of cheeses. Have a nice bowl.
Nice. So, what has been some of your guys' favorite fan reactions over the course of 3 seasons releasing these books? Whether it be from the book signings to the media nights, what are some of the memories and reactions that stick out to you guys?
I mean, that VIP night that we did was awesome, and having people ask so many like genuine questions about the book, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." That my dad and my mom were there. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, that was a cool memory. Did you want to talk about our YouTube commenter, our very dedicated
yeah,
fan
sure,
on
sure.
YouTube? That's
Well, we
kinda
have
neat.
two. We have two, and please, if they ever see this, forgive me if I get it wrong. I think one was Antonio Rojas.
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
know them. You guys know
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Oh, okay. And the other one was Tony Plantman. I think.
Same person.
Same guy.
I thought so. See, I thought it might have been the right.
Yeah.
They just get logged into
Yes,
different
YouTube
Gmail
channel.
accounts. or
I love
something.
you, Tony.
We
So
love
you guys
you.
know him, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, yeah. I have my my own personal YouTube channel outside of Sir Henry's. Cheap plug for Oddball Explorations, but yeah, I'll do videos that have nothing to do with Sir Henry's, just kind of exploring local sites around Florida. A couple recent examples specifically was the Spookala Horror Convention in Tampa, and I did one about the Mermaid Show at Weeki Wachee Park, and I pick out those two in specific because he would comment on the videos and ask questions about the Sir Henry's event, the attraction, and the books. And kind of ask like these really in-depth questions about different things from the
Ghost in the
different
wall.
things about the different plot points from the books, or like the timelines with how the book lines up with the history of the event itself, and the fact that these in-depth questions just pop up on my random YouTube channels that don't have anything to do with Sir Henry's.
Well, for a series of years, which is cool. Yeah.
Exactly, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll answer them. It's like, you got to comment on about the Weeki Wachee mermaids. Oh, let's look it up. He says, how does the storytellers story, telling the book to the children by the bonfire aligned with the history of the haunt. It's like, does that mean that Sir Henry's haunt is the actual one from the book, or does it take place in a separate universe? I'm like, oh, hold on, let me think about this.
Those are very big questions.
Exactly. It's like that doesn't have
Very
anything to
loaded.
do with WikiWatchy, but that's perfectly fine. I appreciate the enthusiasm. So let me think about an answer. But yeah, he'll pop up and ask questions on my various YouTube videos, and it always amuses me. And I'm happy to see the enthusiasm for the book and for the history of the attraction as well.
I also think the biggest thing to come out of all this is Mike McKeon.
Yeah, Mike.
He started off as just being a huge Sir Henry's fan. I think he found it from Tampa Jay's videos, and then he got the books, and that got him into it. And he's like, I'm thinking about volunteering, and now he's just like a huge part of all this.
We literally just cast Mike. Shout out,
Yay!
Mike.
He's part of the family.
As a big new character for
The
the
hayride,
2024 season on the Hayride.
Nice.
It's going to be pretty
But
special.
yeah, so he exactly what you just said. Found this place through Tampa Jay, read all the books, then came out.
Before opening night, right?
Yeah. Read all the books
he
in
said
like
he's
2
like,
weeks.
I binged these in like
Yeah,
2
yeah.
days. I was like, wow.
That's crazy.
And then came every single night we were open for the 23
Nice.
season.
Yeah.
And
Tammy
then
The
and-
swag
and
pack that
Josh.
we advertised. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, and then volunteered all through Christmas, Valentine's, and then yeah.
For the 2023 season, if Mike sees this, I have to ask if he ever found Sarah. Or if he-
I don't know, that
we
question's
found,
still up in the
found
air.
Sarah,
Yeah.
but did he ever find out what happened to Sarah?
I gotta tell you, like it's just like such good caliber acting from him. Like he just puts himself into it, and I was like, oh, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wait till you see what we got cooked up for
it's
Mike
so
for
good.
2024.
I'm excited for
Just
it.
like fangirling.
He's been
Like,
texting me about it.
you
too.
see
We're
me,
gonna
like,
have to write
wailing
it
in my
too, yeah.
chair.
Book.
Like I'm literally just still so like stoked to be part of this process. Like that, afterwards, they're like, after this, do you want to come see what we've been working on? I'm like, yeah.
Well, and as general as we can be, because we haven't released the themes yet. You guys know quite a bit already about 2024 Trail 1, 2, 3 plus the Hayride. Is there anything you guys are extremely excited for this season?
Well, how much can we say though? That's the question.
Well, so is there a particular trail you're
just
most
about-
excited for?
Trail 2.
Interesting.
I'll just say kind of, I'll say kind of for obvious reasons, kind of tying back to what we spoke about earlier, but I can't, I don't want to go into any further details, but you kind of.
I can't say. So Trail 2, in case you guys don't know, is our Haunted Mansion trail. One of the big scene remodels we've already done, this is just kind of a general thing, not giving anything away, was our greenhouse scene. It's going to be a brand new scene on this on this trail, which kind of goes with the stuff. But it's going to be really cool. Calvin's pseudo idea. So
I've only been asking for it for a couple of years.
and in all honesty, we put it together in like a day.
Yeah, it was
and
so easy.
And it's probably one of the coolest room
We've
scenes
been
on that
putting it
trail.
off for so long, and we were like, let's just do it, and we
Right,
got it there in a day. And
Nice. Yeah. Trail 2 is going to be different this year. Amanda?
Different, good way.
I've been thinking on it, and I was originally like Trail 2 just because of the obvious like reasons, storytelling reasons, but I think Trail 3 should be kind of interesting. I think just like from the construction photos that y'all have been putting up, and then we round robin Twitter, so when I put up like that teaser of some of the construction for Trail 3,
the Alamo.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
yeah.
But that's the thing is like
Nuts.
for all the genuine excitement, there was one comment that just floored me. I was like, I'm done. This is great. Where someone was like, it's gonna be a haunted Taco Bell. And
Yep.
I'm like,
Yeah, I want to
I
come
was
to
like,
Sir
that
Henry.
wins.
I want to come to Sir Henry's and
You
give me a
win.
Crunchwrap Supreme. Heck
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you want to answer?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Trail 3.
I have a unique answer, but let's hear
So
you.
yeah, mine's Trail 3. But I feel like we could be building what I think is the stupidest thing in the world, but because I've spent so much time on it, it's going to be what I'm most excited for.
So I can say that obviously for me, Trail 3 is the most unique, brand new theme that we are doing this year. And I had the vision for that back last summer. So
It's-
typically when I have these visions, it produces and promises to be well. But I actually have a sleeper pick, and that is Trail 1.
there's a lot of reasons.
We've had to slap ourselves on the wrist because we've been doing too much with Trail 1.
Yeah.
And not that I even really needed it, but it's probably going to be
It's almost brand new.
Yeah, but one could say it's kind of like our primo trail, even though I think everything has a unique aspect to it. Especially now with Trail 3, the finale. But I don't know. I'm sleeping on Trail 1.
Trail 1, yeah.
I'm
So
sleeping on it.
yeah, Trail 1's gonna be gnarly, but Trail 3 I think is like the craziest thing we've done.
Oh no,
like,
by
theme-wise.
far, it's a
It's gonna.
I
It's
don't
like
know. whatever that is.
like it's not like
a
that.
swish.
It's shock value or whatever. But like when it gets announced, it's gonna be like a.
It's very unique. Very
I
unique.
didn't even think that was possible
Yeah.
type thing. You know what I mean?
And I don't know if I said this in the last episode or not, but everything this year, every theme, every story, every room we're designing, every scare we're designing is going to be very dark,
Intense.
graphic, and
how we like it.
brutal.
Brutal is the word.
Brutal is the word.
Going into this
Gruesome,
across the year.
Even on the hayride.
TVMA.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
yes, and I don't know what brought this on. Normally, I'm pretty chill when it comes to gore and stuff, or even graphic things. But maybe I guess going to 13th Gate changed my perspective.
Yeah, maybe.
on stuff.
But yeah, Trail 1 because I said this. I know I've said this before, but like we were going into this as like the year of content because like we've got all the big shebang stuff, and now we can really like focus in and hone everything else, and we're like really doing that, especially in Trail 1. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking, I don't think there's a single scene in Trail 1 that will remain even the same walking path.
No, there's not. There's not, which is cool.
Which Trail 2 will be very similar once we hop over there. But yeah, Trail 1 is going to be cool. A lot of people are going to talk about it, but same with Trail 3. So I'm going to say Trail 3.
Nice. Any final thoughts you guys want to put out to the Sir Henry universe before we wrap up this podcast?
Well, here's a good question then. So taking into account like how kind of brutal and gory this new storytelling is going to be for this season, usually there's always this message of like family friendly.
Yes.
Would you advise then that we might even say like maybe leave the younger kids?
Well,
alone?
historically and generally, we always say 12 and up. That's
Yeah.
our recommendation.
Use discretion.
And indiscretion is always advised. The first scene on the hayride is going to be kind of graphic.
Yeah.
In a way. I don't know. You know, we said this on the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago. We're like, I did everything I wanted to do, and now I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
And I also want to deliver more of a shock value to the scares when guests are going through. So, but with all that being said, I am not changing the fundamental basis of Sir Henry's being a family-oriented event, because at the core that is who we are, what my brand is, and I would never do anything to contradict that. I just think you might see more mature scares, not any kind of explicit content.
Right.
In
Yeah.
any way.
To be clear.
To be clear, no explicit content. But instead of, rough example, a victim with a cut saying, help me, he's after me, you're probably going to see a monster, rip the victim's face off, the victim drop dead, and then a monster says, get out.
Oh,
Something not that, but basically,
that was very specific.
So in terms of haunted houses, it's not going to be more extreme or less extreme than any other haunted house, but you're going to be walking through and you're going to, Sir Henry, like it's new and more explicit for us.
well,
terms of what we have done in the
we
past.
talked about this. I don't think I said this to the podcast community, but going through the 13th Gate, yes, they had cool sets. Yes, they had cool special effects. But how the actors interacted with the sets, with the special effects to tell a story in a very shock value nature is what I wanted to bring out here this year. And that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
Nice.
So like it's nothing crazy in terms of the haunted house world. It's just
Dynamic.
yeah, it's just we are kind of taking that next step into becoming more intense.
And it's like you said, we have the core foundation in place so that we can take time to develop our content inside
Yeah.
the trails.
And just have fun because that's what we've been doing this whole time.
I like it.
And I think you guys are really going to like it too.
I hope.
Heck yeah.
Everybody. And if you don't, too bad. Like it anyway. Well, cool. Thank you guys again for coming on today's podcast episode.
Always a pleasure.
Make sure you're following Brad's channel, Oddball Adventures. Put the plug in that and link in description below. Explorations, my mistake. We'll put the link in the description below. Don't forget you can watch on YouTube or listen on any major podcast streaming platform. Any final thoughts?
No. I thought this was a pretty good show.
Yeah, we've got some exciting announcements coming up later throughout the summer. Not only our trail themes, but we're doing a special event in July that will be a public opportunity for learning for youth. Pretty much says it without saying it.
sound of it.
Stay on the lookout for that. We will also be at Tampa Bay Comic Con at the end of August.
Oh, yeah.
We will have a booth. We will be advertising the event. We'll be recruiting scare actors. So make sure you check us out for that. All these good things to come. So, yeah, lots of exciting stuff.
Yeah, summer is announcement season. So just
busy.
keep your eyes out.
So yeah, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for watching. Always stay tuned. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, stay spooky, friends.
Spooky.
Sayonara.